What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you a step-by-step tutorial on how to navigate through Amazon Seller Central. I know how difficult it could be as a new seller to actually figure out what the hell you're doing in here, where to upload your listing, how to do advertising, how to do all that stuff. So I want to make a quick video to show you guys how to do all that. And this is also assuming that you already have your seller account set up. I might do a video at some point on how to register your new seller account, but I'm sure there's tons of videos out there already on that. So, all right, let's just jump right into it. So this is the Seller Central homepage. I'm in one of my client accounts, so I'll probably end up blurring some of this stuff. But so we'll start from the top left corner here, Amazon Seller Central. When you click that, it'll just bring you back to this homepage. So the first tab here is catalog. You hover over that. This is where you can add new products, complete the drafts of new listings you started, and view your selling applications. So that means if you're applying to sell a restricted brand or a restricted product, the application for that would be in here. At this point, you don't really have to worry about that, unless you're doing retail arbitrage or wholesale or something like that, where you might have to apply for a brand. That's where you would do it. So inventory, this is where you would manage all of your inventory, obviously, whether it's FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, or merchant fulfilled. So I'll go into the manage inventory first. All right, so this is where, all of your inventory will be, whether you have 1 or 100 products. So this is where this seller's products are. Looks like everything's out of stock. So basically where you see the 0 here and you can't edit the quantity, that means it's an FBA listing. So it's showing as inactive, out of stock. So when we set up a new shipment and send a new inventory, it'll first show as inbound. This is, say we're sending in 10 units, it'll show 10 units. And then once Amazon receives all 10 units, it'll show 10 here available. And then this listing will automatically switch back to active unless you close it yourself. So let's scroll down, see if we could find a merchant fulfilled listing here. I want to show you how to convert that to an FBA listing. So you'll see here, well, I don't want to change that. So let's change one of these to a merchant fulfilled then. It's basically the same process anyway. So you click this little check mark here, then you go to action on one selected. So we'll click change to fulfilled by merchant, and vice versa. If it was a merchant fulfilled listing, just click change to fulfilled by Amazon, follow a couple of the little steps in there, and then that's it. You'll be able to set up inventory. Current fulfillment program, Amazon. You'll see that right here. Hit convert, and that's it. So it didn't do it right away. It might take a little time. You might have to refresh the page to actually, go back in and, set up your quantity of inventory and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so in quick, while we're back here, I'll show you how to actually edit your product listing, where you'll add the title, bullets, description, all of that good stuff. So you go onto the side here on the right hand side where it says edit, click edit, and this is where you'll change all of the your offer, your title, bullets, you add search terms and stuff. So when we start here, the vital info tab, so this window popped up here is because there's multiple sellers on this listing. This is probably, a wholesale product or a retail arbitrage type of product, so you just hit OK there. So product name is where you will add the title, and it says max 250 characters here. Amazon does prevent you from going over 250. In the past you were able to go above 250, but now you can't. Manufacturer, brand name, usually would be the same exact thing. And then if you have a UPC code, you would add that in here. Choose UPC, plug that in right there. Variations is not available for this category, so not every category you can do a variation, but if you were creating a brand new product listing, which I'll show you how to do in a little bit, you'll be able to set up variations if that category allows it. And for each variation that you have, each one needs its own unique UPC code as well. Offer, where you set your price, You'll set the SKU. So if you don't put anything for the SKU, Amazon will just put something in there for you. This is just for your own tracking, your own inventory tracking. If you only have one product, it's not really a big deal. But if you have multiple products, you need to be able to track that. So, and then the sale price, start and end date. So on some product listings, Amazon actually got rid of this sale price feature. So say you have the regular price here at $19.95, you can put in the sale price. You know, a lot of people were creating fake sale prices. You put it at $17.99, put in the start and end date. Some people put the end date for like 20 years from now, so the sale would basically never end. And basically creating a fake sale. So some listings, you're still able to do it. Others, if you set the sale price, it won't show up anymore. So I don't even know why Amazon still has this in here if they're just going to get rid of it, but that's what they do. So everything else in here is not super important. If you're doing merchant fulfilled, you can add the quantity, suggested retail price. You don't need to put in, and then shipping template. Again, that would be if you're doing merchant fulfilled, but if you're doing FBA, you don't have to worry about that. Compliance. This is just, again, if you have batteries or anything like that in here. Images. So they give you a lot of space here. They're showing 9 images, but really only 7 images will show up live on your product listing. So make sure that you're using the first 7. The next 2, there might be a little plus sign next to the 7th image on your listing where you'll be able to view these additional images. But the only ones that you'll be able to see, on your left-hand side on the listing will be the first 7. So you also want to make sure that you use all 7 image spots because the customers want to see what the product looks like, what it does, and all the different features. Me personally, as a buyer, I look at the images first, to see if what the specific features are, what it looks like, what it can do, all that stuff. So you want to make sure your images are really good. When you go into the description section here, obviously product description, this goes below on the bottom of your listing, and the key product features here are actually your 5 bullet points. So again, you want to make sure that you fill out all 5. This is where people will get all the information about the product. Me personally, I like to keep them short and to the point. No one wants to read a huge mountain of text when they get to your listing. That's just annoying, and it's hard to read. No one's going to read all that. They don't want to read a book when they go to your listing. They just want to figure out what the hell it is and then buy it. So I like to keep it short and sweet. I mean, they say max 100 characters per line. You can go over that a little bit. They won't stop you, but if you can get it to that would be great. Just again, so the customer can quickly figure out what it is. And then in your product description, if you miss something in your bullet points, you weren't able to fit it, you can add a more detailed description here. Some people say that the product description is not as important, and that's just not true, especially with the increasing buyers on mobile device. When you're on a mobile device, if you're on your iPhone searching on Amazon, the product description is going to show up before the bullet points. So you want to make sure that this is filled out. If you don't have brand registry, you want to make sure you're using some HTML tags in here to bold text, space it out, add some bullet points so it's a little easier to read, and add some more detailed description in there. But it's definitely important, and add in some more additional keywords if you couldn't fit them within the title or the bullet points. So keywords. The most important section here is the search terms right here. Now, Amazon says search terms that describe your product, no repetition, no competitor brand names or ASINs. So people used to put competitor ASINs or their brand name, stuff like that. That's not allowed anymore. The max that's allowed here is 250 characters max. Anything after that won't be included. Amazon will totally ignore it. So here, you like to use words that describe your product, something, maybe a different name of the product that you didn't mention in your listing. Try not to include keywords that you already included within the listing because that won't really help you that much. Some common misspellings, other names for the product. You don't have to put in Spanish keywords or anything like that because Amazon will automatically translate that for you. And I got that info directly from Amazon too, an Amazon hosted webinar. So If someone's telling you put Spanish keywords back here, you don't need to do that. But again, keep them under 250 characters and you should be good to go there. Alright, so now we're back in the Manage Inventory section here. So we'll hover back over Inventory. Now if you want, I know we went over where to upload everything, all your title, bullet description, and all that here. But if you want to create a brand new product listing in Amazon's catalog, again, you'll hover over Inventory, click Add a Product. It'll bring you to this page. So say you were doing retail arbitrage or wholesale, something like that, you already had the ASIN. You would just paste it in here, or paste the UPC, whatever it is, and hit search, and then it'll tell you if you're able to sell it or not in a new condition. Then hit sell, and you go through that process of setting up either a shipment if you're doing FBA or just a merchant fulfilled listing. But for this, you're probably wanting to know how to create a brand new listing if you're doing a private label product. So if it is not in Amazon's catalog, create a new product listing. Now say we're selling something in arts and crafts, crafting, candle making kits, whatever it is. But if whatever your product is, type it in here and click find category, and it should bring up something like this where you're able to select the category that you want to be in. Also, you can look at your competitors' listings and see where they're listed, and you would want to list in that same category as well. So then you hit select on the category. So again, it's the same process as we were doing before pretty much, but this is brand new. So here, this is where you would add your UPC code that you would get from GS1. There are ways to list your product without a UPC code. You could get a UPC exemption or GTIN exemption, that you have to apply through Amazon to do. There are certain requirements or restrictions for that. I forget the exact process, but I've done it before. It's pretty straightforward. If your product really doesn't have a UPC code, it's pretty easy. So I'll leave that link in the description below on how you can actually apply to have a UPC exemption. That way you don't need to put that in here. So again, product name is the title, brand name, manufacturer, probably the same name. Brand name, it will be whatever your private label brand is. And then manufacturer part number, you could just make it up. It's for your records. If you're selling a sewing kit, it could be SEW1, I don't know, something like that. Variations again, so here we're able to actually do a variation. So say it's a color variation, you could do color size, have 2 drop down menus. Say you want to order a blue and then a small, like if you're doing shirts or some other clothing. So we're doing color. Here you can add all the different colors: red, blue, green. Click add variations, they'll all be down here. Now again, like I mentioned before, each color will need its own unique product ID. UPC, GTIN, whatever it is. And then you'll select the condition, new, add price, and then that's that for variations. Offer, so you can skip that and do it later. So basically, fulfillment channel, I want Amazon to ship and provide customer service for my items if they sell. If you do an FBA, this is what you want to click. And then again, with images, you can always go back and do that later. But yeah, that's basically how you create a brand new product listing in Amazon's catalog. And then if you want to add in more information, just hit save and finish, and then go back into your manage inventory section and click on edit like we did before, and then you should be able to add in a little more detailed information. Like right now you can't include the description or bullet points. You want to obviously go back and add all of that in. Alright, so now I'll quickly go over some stuff on the home page here. On the left hand side you'll see your orders here, so pending, premium, unshipped, blah blah blah. So again, this is if you're doing seller fulfilled or merchant fulfilled. If you have any pending orders or unshipped orders, they'll show up here. But if you're doing FBA, this won't be filled out. You won't see that show up. And then fulfillment by Amazon here, this will just tell you how many orders have shipped in the last day, last 7 days. That's pretty straightforward there. Performance, this is very important. You want to always make sure you're looking at this. Check your account health, make sure it's good. There's no, you have no complaints against your account, anything like that. One most important thing here though is the buyer messages. Amazon wants you to answer any buyer messages in under 24 hours. If you go over that, your account will get dinged, and it might, go against you. So you want to make sure that you're always checking your buyer messages. If you're doing Fulfilled by Amazon, most of the customer service will go through them, but some people do contact the sellers directly if they have any issues. So say, for instance, they had an issue with the shipping and it was an FBA product. You could just explain to the buyer that this order was fulfilled by Amazon. Please contact seller support or customer support, and they'll be able to help you out. You still answer the question, you still help them out, but you're not exactly, you can't do anything with the shipping. You have nothing to do with that. So you always want to make sure you're doing that. And a good way to stay on top of that is just to download the Amazon Seller app, and all the messages will go in there. So if you're not at your computer, you could just answer them from your phone real quick. All right, customer feedback. So we'll click in here. They have some good feedback here. So this is a new look that Amazon set up. So basically you could see, this is not product reviews, this is seller feedback, as you as a seller, as your account. 5-star ratings, 4-star, whatever. Shows all the orders here, shows any comments that they left. So here you'll see positive, neutral, or negative. Sometimes people will leave a negative product review as a seller feedback. So for whatever, which is good for you, because if this person was really pissed off and they wanted to leave a negative review, they accidentally left it as a seller feedback, which is good for you because you could get it removed and then it won't show up on your listing as a negative review. So I'll click on that. As you can see, these are all striked out by Amazon, and then you'll see a message from Amazon here. This item was fulfilled by Amazon. We take responsibility for this fulfillment experience. So you'll see right here, I received the wrong mug instead of dark green, blah, blah, blah. So that's a product review that has nothing to do with the seller. If that review said, the seller sucks, they scammed me, don't order from them, you won't be able to get that removed because it's about you as a seller, not about the product. And a way to get that removed, Amazon makes it pretty easy now with this new look. So for instance, you go to this little drop down menu under Actions, click. You can either post a public reply, be like, oh, I'm very sorry you feel that way, that kind of stuff, or you hit Request Removal. And then it should bring you a couple options of why you want to remove it. You could just choose that it's a product feedback and not a seller feedback, and they'll usually remove it right away. So again, that's very important to keep an eye on. You don't want any negatives in here. Hopefully it's all 5 and 4-star feedbacks. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on that. All right, next here, seller forums. They can be helpful if you have any questions. Some of the guys in there can be dicks and they don't really like to help out new sellers, but it is a good resource. If you have a quick question, just go in there, do a quick search and see if any posts come up. It can be helpful, and it's also pretty entertaining. Sometimes there's some funny things in there. And then when you scroll down a little more, bottom left hand side here, you'll see Get Support. So if you need to contact seller support, that's how you'll do it. It's not going to be anywhere up here, so you just have to scroll down to the page, click Get Support. Let me move my big head out of the way. So now they make it a little more difficult to actually, what the hell, whatever. They make it a little more difficult to actually contact them. So go to Contact Us down here. Let me see here. So selling on Amazon, click on that. So this used to not pop up. They make it a little harder to actually contact them because they probably get bombarded with thousands of messages a minute. So anyway, here, instead of like actually typing in whatever your question is, I just type in a bunch of random letters, click Get Help because they're not going to be able to find that, and then just X that out. Let me move myself again, and then over here you'll be able to actually choose what kind of help you're looking for. You need help with a order, put in the order number, filled by Amazon, whatever, all that's in here. You can choose to email them, or you can choose to have Amazon call you, and then they usually call you right away. Hopefully it's somebody from the US and they can better help you that way. Another tip with dealing with seller support, if you get somebody from overseas and you're either having trouble understanding them or they're just not understanding your question, you could say you want to speak to somebody from the captive team, and they'll usually transfer you to somebody over in the U.S. and you'll have a better chance of being helped that way. So that's just a quick tip with dealing with seller support because they're not always very helpful. So yeah. On the right hand side, payment summary, manage your case log. So if you opened up any cases with seller support, you would view your case log here. Yeah, if you have any cases open, it should show up right here, and then you'll be able to click that. But again, that's how you get to that. Sales summary. This will show you daily, weekly, and I think and monthly sales. So a quick view of that. Inventory planning. It'll tell you what your inventory health is. So it'll tell you if you have anything that's maybe overstocked, that's been in stock for over 60 days or over a year. If it's reaching a year, it'll tell you you have however many units going to be charged for long-term storage fees. So you're going to have to get rid of those. So again, one thing with selling on Amazon, you want to make sure that you're sending in enough inventory and not too much inventory. You don't want to get stuck getting crushed by these long-term storage fees if your product has been in Amazon's warehouse for over a year, because then that charge is going to be pretty shocking when you see that. Seller poll. Sometimes Amazon will ask random questions. Don't really have to pay attention to that. List globally. I don't know if this will be in everyone's account, but this is basically all of if you want to list in U.S., Canada, Mexico. I'm pretty sure you could set up merchant fulfilled listings for Mexico and Canada and just ship. Have Amazon ship from your FBA. But again, I'm not 100% sure on that. You can hit enable more listings, and it should be pretty straightforward of how to do that. Amazon selling coach. I don't really do much with this. I don't think it's super helpful, so don't really pay attention to that. Amazon news. If they change any policies or stuff like that, it'll show up here. It's good to read through once in a while just to stay on top of how Amazon is working. So that's where you would see that. So pricing. Now, Amazon has, I'm sure some of you have heard of repricers or automated pricing. Amazon does have that. It doesn't work as well as some of the other paid tools out there. But basically, if you're doing like retail arbitrage or something and you're trying to match, the next seller's price, that's how you can do it there. And you don't really have to do much anything in here. You can manage all of your pricing in the manage inventory section right here. So I don't really do anything with this in here. So let's go back to the inventory tab. Go to the shipments real quick. So basically, this is where you'll manage all the shipments that you have. Let me show you actually how to set up a shipment real quick, because that's helpful, right? So you could click the little check mark here. Click this. Send replenish inventory. Alright, so there's another example of converting to FBA. Manufacturer barcode only. The SKU is already assigned, barcode preference, so you can't change it. So basically it'll just, you don't need to put a specific Amazon barcode on. They could just scan the manufacturer barcode. Convert and send inventory. Do this stuff again. Basically saying it's not a battery or dangerous goods product. So once you're in here, you could choose either individual products or case pack. So for something like this, it would be a case pack. Individual products means if you're doing retail arbitrage or something like that, and you have 10 different items, 10 different products, totally different, you can package them all in one, and that's what individual products mean. So that way you don't have to ship one individually, you could just throw everything in one box. So say there's 10 units per case, you have one case, 10 units, continue. I won't go through all this, but basically it's pretty straightforward. Once you get to the end of the summary, it'll ask you for the weight and how it's packaged. Amazon gets really good shipping rates through UPS and FedEx, so the shipping is actually pretty cheap. It'll usually set up the shipment to whatever your what's closest to your address. Alright, so we'll go into advertising, under the advertising tab now. So I'm in the campaign manager. So you'll hover over advertising, hit campaign manager, and this is where you will set up all of your pay-per-click campaigns. Pretty straightforward process of how it looks. I mean, setting up your campaigns isn't really straightforward. It takes some skill, but this is where you'll be able to see all the campaigns that you're currently running. Um, Go into create a campaign. I won't go into how to actually set everything up right now, but this is where you would do it. Enhance brand content. So that's if you have a brand registered product. See, this person doesn't have it, so get started registering your brand. So this is basically if you have a trademark brand or trademark product with your own website and stuff like that. You could set up brand registry in Amazon, which gives you a little more protection and enables you to do enhanced brand content descriptions, which is, you've probably seen when you scroll down to where the description usually is. It'll be a bunch of big beautiful pictures, a lot more text. You can see there's different templates instead of just the plain old black and white text that you can do when you first start out. So that's where you would do all that. Early reviewer program. So that's cool. So now obviously you can't do giveaways in exchange for reviews like you could a couple years ago. That's how everybody, including myself, was getting reviews for some new private label products. Amazon got rid of that. So now they're kind of doing that thing on their own. They're going to incentivize their own customers. I don't know where they get these people. They're sending out emails, I guess, to certain buyers if they're enrolled in this program, and if they leave a review for you, Amazon will give them, like, I don't know, $1 gift card credit or something like that. So it's a way of helping new sellers with new products get their initial reviews. So the early review program will get you up to 5 reviews, and it costs $60 per SKU. So you don't get charged until you actually get your first review. So once the first review rolls in, is when you'll get charged to your account, and it'll just deduct from your credit card or from your balance, whatever you have set up there. So yeah, basically it's pretty easy. You hit get started. You put in the SKU that you want to get reviews for. Now, this doesn't guarantee that you'll get 5-star reviews. I mean, people are going to be honest. I mean, anytime I've used it, they're usually good, 4 or 5 stars. But once in a while, you get somebody who's maybe in a bad mood, and they're not feeling happy that day, so they're gonna take it out on you and give you a bad review. So, but that's the risk. It does help though, and you'll see if somebody leaves a review with the early review program, you'll see it says early reviewer program next to the review on your listing, so you'll know exactly where it came from. Next here would be lightning deals. So I'm sure you've seen on the deal page on Amazon.com, on their homepage, they have a deal page, and you'll see something that says 50% of this deal was claimed, something like that. So you can set a certain quantity of how many units you want the deal to be available for. So say your product was selling regularly for $20, you set up a lightning deal for, I don't know, $12 or $14, whatever it is, and you could set it to have only 50 units be part of the deal. So then once all 50 are bought up at that price, the deal ends. You can't set specific dates. Amazon will give you a date range of when it'll be set up, and you can choose whatever date range you want, but you can't choose the exact date. So the date and time is kind of random. I mean, these do work sometimes they don't. And Amazon also does charge $150 per deal. So you want to make sure that the deal is good, it's enticing enough. But there are thousands of other deals running at the same time, so sometimes it might not even be seen. So it's good to start running these once your product gains some traction. So if you have a listing that's selling 10 or 20 units a day already, you're getting consistent sales, you're getting consistent sessions and visitors, then that's when I suggest doing lightning deals, because people are already coming to your listing and converting. So try to bring that conversion rate up a little bit more by using a lightning deal. But for a brand new product, I don't recommend it right away because it probably won't do anything. So again, under advertising, we'll go to coupons. I said this was going to be a quick video, and it's not really quick, but hopefully it's helping you guys out. So I'll move my big head again. This is where Amazon's new feature where you can set up a coupon on your listing. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's a little orange tag next to the price. It says clip for $1 or $2 off. That's where you can set that up in here. And again, Amazon does charge, I think, 60 cents per coupon redemption or something like that. So you need to set up right here, set a discount amount and budget. And it does help. I think it definitely helps with conversions, and you can track how many people clipped the coupon and how many people actually redeemed it. Some people clip the coupon and never use it. Who knows why? But it's another way to test your pricing and other ways to see how you get people to convert on your listing. So if you want to sell it at a certain price, maybe you can raise your price a little bit, then do a $2 coupon, and see if that helps you. Also, there's two different options to set up coupons. You could do a money off, or you could do a percentage off. Now, I suggest doing a money off or a dollar amount off, just because it's easier for people to do math. I mean, I've seen some coupons that are like, it's a $27 product and they're giving 3% off. I mean, no one knows what 3% of 27 is off the top of their head for the most part. So I suggest doing just a dollar amount off. So $1 or $2, people are going to know, all right, it's going to be $25 or $26, and not what the hell is 3% of that. So that's my suggestion for that. See if there's anything else here. Promotions. So if you're doing a private label product and you want to set up promotions or giveaways, like a lot of people suggest, this is where you would set up your one-time coupon codes. So there's a few different ones in here. What you would do is percentage off. You hit create. So buyer purchases 1. You would select whatever the product is here, and you would add that by clicking create new product selection. And then it'll bring you to a screen where you can enter the ASIN of your product. You add that in there. So if you click this, you'll be able to choose whatever product it is you want to do a promotion for. So then buyer gets % off. So say you're doing a big giveaway, 80% off, whatever it is. Then applies to purchase item. So applies to whatever item you set up here. And then you set up the start and end date, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty self-explanatory. This is just whatever you want to name it. So claim code, you could do single use, and then it'll automatically check 1 redemption per customer. So then you don't have to worry about Amazon posting your claim code on your listing. So there are ways to do it where you can set up a promotional code, say buy 2 get 10% off. You want that to show up on your listing itself so people see it. But if you're doing a giveaway type of situation, you want to use a single use coupon code, and that's that. And then you hit review. I didn't put anything in here. Another screen will pop up and say, you know what, let me put something in here so you would see it. Alert, the promotion you enter will result in discount greater than 70%. So they're just trying to warn you that you're giving away a ton of discount here. So then you'll go back to your manage promotions, and then right now it's probably, it's going to be pending. It takes about 4 hours for it to actually activate whatever the coupon is. So then to get your individual coupon codes, there would be a way you can do that in here. So once you hit view, it's not active right now. So, but yeah, you go into manage claim codes right here. Say you want 100 single use codes, whatever, you hit create, and that'll pop up right here. So then once you download that, so whatever giveaway service you're using, you will just copy and paste 100 of those claim codes in there, and that's that. So, and whoever uses that code can only use it once. So stores, this is also if you have brand registry, which is really, really cool. It's like having your own e-commerce store on Amazon. So you can have your own dedicated landing page, basically. You could send outside traffic there. You could see a little clip here of Amazon's brand. Featured stores, you could get a good look, Quest and all these people. So it looks really, really good. So once you get going, I suggest trying to do brand registry, and you can have all these cool features and actually send traffic to a store. And there's no advertising from competitors on there or anything like that. It's just your product. Now reports are important. You want to know how your product is performing. You want to know how your ads are performing. So that's how you will figure all of that out. One thing that I like to take a look at is your business reports. You want to make sure you're looking at that often. So this will just tell you like what your daily sales are. You choose a date, whatever. That's cool. And if you have a big number here, that looks really cool. A lot of people like to show it off, take screenshots, whatever. This guy has a whopping 0 sales today. Big deal. He doesn't have much in here. So what you want to take a look at though for your reports back here, on the left hand side you'll see under buy ASIN. Then you'll see detail page sales and traffic by child item. So when you click on that, for instance, there's this product here. One thing you want to keep an eye on and always look at is your sessions and your unit session percentage. So the sessions is how many people are actually visiting your listing, and then the unit session percentage is what your conversion rate is. So you want to try to get those sessions up by using advertising and maybe trying to drive some outside traffic. Whatever ways you can, making sure you have an optimized listing for search, so you're always showing up. So the more people that you're sending to your listing, the more chance you have of converting them into a sale. Eventually, I'm going to do a video of how I actually, write a listing, make sure it's fully optimized for search, and then, hopefully once people come visit your listing, they convert into a buyer, because that's the most important thing. You want people to come to your listing, but you also want them to convert. If they're just going to your listing and not converting, your listing is not going to rank at all. So the units session percentage, good conversion rate for Amazon. It's kind of hard to say. The conversion rates are definitely a lot higher than your typical e-commerce site. So I think for a brand new product, somewhere around 5 to 10% is really good. You want to obviously try to get it higher as much as you can. Do some testing with your pricing, do some testing with your images and title and your description, see if that changes anything, and just keep an eye on the conversion rate. And that'll let you know that maybe your price was too high. You lowered it $2, your conversion rate shot up that week. So you want to always try to keep an eye on these reports back here. Another report that you want to keep track of is your advertising reports. So the one most important report is the search term report. So say you're running an automatic and a manual campaign. You download your search term report. It'll download as a text file. So just copy and paste that into an Excel sheet or Google Sheets, and it'll give you everything that you're looking for. Create columns so you could sort. Basically, that'll tell you what keywords Amazon is targeting for your automatic campaign, and it'll tell you how many clicks each keyword was getting, what the ACoS was, what the conversion rate was, how much you're spending, all that stuff. So it's really important that you're looking at that as well. The automatic campaigns will show whatever keywords that Amazon thinks people will buy from. So there could be keywords in there that you never thought of before. So it's important to look at that, go back. If you see a random keyword in there that's getting sales, you can copy that into your manual campaign or make it a phrase match, exact match, that kind of stuff. So it's also very important if one keyword's overspending. Again, you want to know that, go back in and deactivate whatever campaigns are performing poorly. So next would be, that's it with reporting. There are other reports in here which are important, but the most two important ones when you're first starting out would be the business reports and advertising reports. So just make sure you remember that stuff. Performance, this is where your account health is. So order defect rate, shipping performance. That's if you're seller fulfilled, doing merchant fulfilled orders. That won't apply to FBA orders. If an FBA shipment was late, that's not going to be against you. That's obviously Amazon's problem or UPS's problem, FedEx, whatever. So, but again, if you're doing any merchant fulfilled shipments, you want to keep an eye on this back here. Customer service performance. So again, what I was talking about before, if you get a customer message, you want to answer it in under 24 hours, and this you'll be able to see that kind of stuff back here as well. So just keep an eye on your account health, make sure it's good. If there's any complaints against you, you'll see that here. You want to make sure you take care of all that very quickly, or your account can be in jeopardy. And that's pretty much it in performance. The A to Z claims, that's also if you're doing merchant fulfilled. So if a customer feels like they didn't receive what the description said it was, they can open up a claim and get a refund, and it's a disaster. So again, just try to do FBA for the most part, and you don't have to worry about dealing with the shitty customers all the time. App Store. So this is new that they have in Seller Central here. That's basically just like all the third-party apps that you use, like the Jungle Scouts and the Inventory Labs and all that stuff. Can be useful if you need a specific thing. They break it down by category. I've never, gone through it or anything, but that's basically what you'll do. So let me move my big head again down here. I'll show you quickly some stuff up here. When you go to settings, account info, that'll be your payment information and all that kind of stuff. Fulfillment by Amazon. Let's go through that real quick, because this is where you'll shut up. This is where you'll set up your inbound settings. So what inventory placement service is. Basically, you'll ship all of your products to one Amazon warehouse, and Amazon will split it up for you for a fee. I forget what the total fee was. You can learn more about that here. But instead of like having Amazon split up all your shipments, so if it's in let's see what I forget what it was called, distributed inventory placement. So basically, if you want to send in 100 units, Amazon may say, all right, you got to send 20 here, you got to send 20 there, you got to send 2 here, 18 there. It's a real pain in the ass sometimes. You can end up sending, 6 or 7 shipments for the same product just to different warehouses across the country. I like using inventory placement, even though they charge a little bit of a fee, because it makes your inbound shipping a hell of a lot easier. You throw all 100 units into one box and boom, ship it to one warehouse, and that's that. Amazon takes care of all of that stuff. So again, if you're doing that with your FBA shipments, another thing to look at. I'll go back into manage inventory. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm just thinking of things. So when you see inbound and reserved, so say we're sending 100 of this bag, it'll say 100 here. And then once Amazon starts to receive it, so say they only received 10 so far, only 10 will be available for sale. And then reserved, that means they received all of your inventory, but they're just transferring it to other fulfillment centers. So say they're transferring 50 units you're in New Jersey, where I am, they're sending it to California. They're going to put it in reserved, and it won't be shown as available until all those units reach that warehouse. So that's how that works. So don't get upset or excited if you see this. You're like, why the hell aren't they available? Where are they? I mean, Amazon, sometimes it takes, a day for all of your inventory to be available. Sometimes it could take a couple weeks. It just depends on how busy that specific warehouse is. So that's that there. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. Pretty quick tutorial. Hopefully I answered all of your questions. Hopefully I didn't go too fast. If you have any other questions or I didn't cover something, feel free to drop me a comment below. And if you like what I'm doing here, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. I'm new to YouTube, so that would help me out. And if you want to see a video about something else, I plan on making more videos that are helpful for beginners, because I know when I started I didn't know shit and I screwed up a lot of things. So I'm trying to make some videos here and help all you guys out. Alright guys, see you later.